Welcome to the Phil Taylor Jones Show, and this one is going to be a hot one. Today we're talking about what the Supreme Court upheld for one of the states in the Union that should be extended to every state in the Union. And because voting time is once again upon us, this is a hot topic that we all should seriously consider. Now, during the last presidential election, there was a major hiccup. Anybody who knows me knows that I cannot stand the current guy that's occupying the White House, to say it mildly. Now, the other opponent on the Republican ticket was Mitt Romney at that time. And I would just about say he was about to clinch it when something happened right here in my own home state of California. And this is what happened. Because the Democrats had fought so vigorously against having proper IDs shown before stepping into the polls, allowed this character to get back in there. And here's how it happened. And if you kind of think about it, and set it up in your mind, you can tell exactly how it happened. But what happened in our state is, when you step up to the poll, to the registering place right there before you go in to vote, you didn't even have to present an ID, like a driver's license or identification card that's state issued. Major blunder. They send out mail-in ballots, or they mail the things to your house and you take it to the polling place. Now, just suppose that the postman, on the sake of supposing, put your mail-in ballot thing in the wrong box. Suppose you are not Phil Taylor Jones, but Phil Taylor Jones's voting material was placed in your mailbox. What would prevent you from then going to the polls and presenting yourself as Phil Taylor Jones? They search down the little things that they have to search for. Oh, okay, and then they write it and give you your polling stuff, and you go in and you vote as Phil Taylor Jones. That's where the bugs are in it. And we've got an influx of foreigners in this country, but I'm speaking right now, in the state that I live in, we've got billions of them here. And they're not all legal, but who cares? Obviously, this guy in the White House doesn't care, because that's why he was chomping at the bit just months before the major voting was going on, to give them their DREAM Act and to give them green cards and citizenship and all of this crapola. So obviously he doesn't care. That was going to feather his nest. So now all of these illegal people over here, and some that aren't even properly registered to vote, maybe they are legal, but maybe they weren't properly registered to vote, they could step up to the plate, pretend they're somebody else, and go on and do it. And that's what happened. That's why this idiot's back in the White House. Got a little air traffic going, forgive it. But now the Supreme Court, in their eminent wisdom, decided to do this for this one state, I believe it's Texas, where they're saying you have to, present legitimate, proper identification before you can cast your vote for whatever candidate or proposition or what have you. Wonderful idea. Should have been done all along. Most anything that you have to do in this country, whether it's purchase something that's meant for the purchase for adults, or if you're having to prove who you are, you have to pull out your identity, your identification documents, driver's license, social security card, state issued ID, something, military card, but something that legitimately and completely identifies you as you. Why not for voting? I've said this many times before. So I would urge the Supreme Court not to just be so bold as to issue this for just one state, but for every state in the union. It's a requirement. It is a must. It is mandatory that you show proper identification before you step your ass into the ballot box. You know, we're voting for someone very important, whether it be the commander-in-chief, or whether it be a gubernatorial race or a mayoral race. I don't care if you're voting for a dog catcher. If you're putting your time and your trust into these governmental muckety-mucks, make sure that it's you who's actually casting your vote. I don't know what these people use for brains. I don't know why it's taken them all of this time to say, well, we actually need to make this a law that people present their IDs. That should have been mandatory from Jump Street. See, that's what I mean by these idiot politicians, these idiot lawmakers not thinking, and then they come up years after the fact, after everything is screwed up. Oh, well, maybe we should have done it this way. Am I saying that we would have had a better country, a better run country if Mitt Romney had been in there? I don't know. I don't trust any politicians, to tell you the truth. They're all jackasses, in my opinion. But at least we would have seen a different jackass, not having to look at this one for the past, 6 years, 7 years, however long. It's been more like 107. And then I hear today that this idiot is putting on order for, 4,000 green cards?
4 billion.
Was it 4 billion?
Something like that.
I thought it was 4,000. Anyway, he's ordered
4 billion or 4 million.
a crap load of green cards to distribute to these people that shouldn't even be here. I mean, what is that? We need to get this guy out of office. I mean, he needs to go. Yeah. Worst something I've ever seen in my life. They used to say this president turned out to be a real klutz. Anyway, with voting fastly approaching it, today is the deadline for us here in California. I don't know what it's like in your area where you may be viewing this video, but thinking ahead to 2016 when we're supposed to get a new president. This idiot won't be back in there. Saints be praised. But for the next idiot that gets in there, hopefully it won't be as bad as this one, because this one was horrible. But you need to think, people, at this moment, get a hold of your congressperson, your senator, and write them a letter, send them an email, say, get with the Supreme Court and have them extend this identification voting thing to every state in the union, not just one state. We need this in every state to ensure, to guarantee that the people voting for whomever that happens to get in there are the actual ones doing it, not some illegal persons or some persons who are not even properly registered, what have you, doing it in a true registered person's name, in order to get what is actually representative of the voting process. Because we didn't get it this time. This sucker scraped in under the wire because he set it up that way, him and his Democratic muckety-mucks. But we don't want anybody doing that crap. We don't want Democrats or Republicans or anybody shafting us. Okay, we're supposed to be the ones that put them in. It's supposed to be of the people, for the people, and by the people. We know that's a bunch of crap. Yeah, we vote the bastards in there. But then when they get in there, they often thumb their nose at us and say, yeah, we're in here now, suckers. But at least we could have more, sort of say, hands-on, if when you step up to that polling desk and they ask you who you are, and then they, right after asking who you are, request to see your credentials, your state-issued identification before handing you your voting, materials. At least your vote was your vote and it was counted properly because you had the proper ID. Have you ever been pulled over by a police officer and he asks you who you are? And they say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to just write you this ticket, and then you go on your way. The first thing that guy is going to ask you for, that woman is going to ask you for, is your driver's license, followed by registration and proof of insurance. When you go to cash a check, they're going to ask you for your identification, state-issued identification, whether that be an ID card or driver's license. When you go to purchase certain things, you got to have ID. When you go to register for certain things other than voting or what have you, you gotta have an ID. So why in the hell wouldn't you have to have an ID when you're doing one of the most important things in this country that a citizen can do, and that's vote for whomever he or she wants to elect to represent them in public office. So please, once again, I ask you, I beg you, get in touch with your state representative, congressperson, senator, and ask them to talk to the Supreme Court to, extend this identification election thingy to every state, not just one. Thanks again for watching the Phil Taylor Jones Show. You as a subscriber, I thank you so much for supporting me and sticking with me all these millions of years. Once again, I'd like to say a big shout out to my brother who's been instrumental. This is the 50th video, and it's not too much to shout about because if you look at some people out there with channels, they got billions of videos. But yeah, we're kicking along pretty good at 50, and I got my brother to thank for that. He's my producer, executive producer, and engineer. He's everything. He's like a one-man production company. He sort of keeps me grounded here. So big thank you to Chris, my brother, who is in master control always. And
Happy 50th.
yeah, hopefully we can do 50 more if I can hold up. Anyway, I mean, they're wearing me down, folks, with all these crazy political things they're doing. First it's ISIS, then it's Ebola, and now other crap. And anyway, stay safe, and to the extent possible, stay happy. If you'd like to become a subscriber, there's a little button right down there that you can push. Be happy to have you come aboard. If you've got some ideas for something maybe you'd like to have me address, please drop me a little line. I'm on Facebook. Look up Phil Taylor Jones. You can add a friend, or you can maybe leave me a message and say, well, hey, Phil, I'd like for you to address this topic, and be happy to get that on the air for you. Thanks once again. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay happy, and see you later. Bye-bye.